This morning, everyone. I'm thrilled to welcome our esteemed Max associates, as well as our friends, family, and fellow health enthusiasts from the Philippines, Malaysia, Singapore, US, Canada, and across the globe to today's special Max Live event featuring Olympic triathlon champions Alistair and Johnny Brownlee. I would also like to acknowledge the presence of our world-class Philippine windsurfing national team and John Chicano, the Philippines' very own Southeast Asia gold medalist in triathlon. Today promises to be filled with inspiring stories, invaluable information, and generous opportunities that you don't want to miss. Max International is honored to have the Brownlee brothers live today. They are true paragons of discipline, grit, and integrity. We are all eager to learn from the exclusive training programs that propel them to become world champions and hear about their amazing experiences with Max products. I know everyone is excited, so without further ado, please join me in welcoming Max Executive Chairman Joe Wojtycki. Joe?
Well, thank you, Joey, and Max morning to everyone, and thank you for joining. This is really a momentous occasion. We are absolutely blessed to be able to introduce you guys to a partnership that is, I think it's groundbreaking, and it's going to help us with the mission that we've had throughout the years, which is global health. Dr. Nagasawa invented ribosine for a specific purpose, and that was to try to help people. The man has an unbelievable heart, spent 25 years researching to develop this product to help people. That was the primary purpose. And what I can tell you about this partnership right from the start is that these are genuine people who have a mission for global health. They actually genuinely care about the people around them, and it fits right in with our values, our ethics, and our mission. And these guys, they have done some unbelievable things. And so just wanted to, go through and give you guys just a sense for the number of unbelievable things that these gentlemen have accomplished. And if you watch the screen, just watch as they turn red, because they're so humble that these accomplishments, they some for some reason are embarrassed by their accomplishments of how great they actually are. Let's just go. And now, and I want to make sure that you guys understand this. I cannot possibly list everything that they've done, because we would be here for at least 3 or 4 hours. So we're just going to truncate that part of it. So for Alistair, two-time Olympic gold medal champion, six-time ITU World Championship gold medalist, five-time European Championship gold medalist, one-time World Aquathon Championship gold medalist, two-time Commonwealth Games gold medalist, two-time Ironman in the 70.3 World Championship silver medalist. That's quite a list. I'm out of breath. So Alistair, please forgive me as I cut your accomplishments down by a tenth. Okay. Uh, Johnny Brownlee, the most decorated Olympic triathlete in history. Unbelievable. Gold medalist in the Tokyo Games, silver medalist in the Rio Games, bronze medalist in the London Games, seven-time ITU World Championship gold medalist, one-time European gold medalist, one-time Commonwealth gold medalist, and man, I'm out of breath. That's just unbelievable. There's so many other things that these guys have done that go beyond these accolades that they've achieved. There's things that behind the team, a person never accomplishes these things on their own. So we want to really talk to them about how they did this, because the process that people go through to succeed, everyone sees the championships, everyone sees the high achievement. Sometimes we don't know that it takes a whole team of people working with you to become that great. And that means that you've developed unbelievable relationships. You've gone through trials and tribulations. You've gone through things that people don't see. And that's so much similar to the business that all of you guys are engaged in right now, that, hey, you're fighting, you're fighting, you're fighting. And, when you achieve that success, it's because you've managed to work together. You've managed to pull a team together, and you all work as one to achieve a goal. And Johnny and Alistair, they've achieved some amazing things, but let's ask them and talk to them about their process. So, I would love to turn to Alistair first, and say, Al, and Johnny, the same question. What was it like where you grew up? What is it that drove you guys to being the champions that you are?
Well, hi Joe. Thank you for that incredible introduction there. Yeah, hopefully I'm not too red. But yeah, it was a long time ago. I think, firstly, we both started doing sport as very active young people, as kind of 5, 6 year olds. Our mum had been a swimmer, so she took us to the local swimming club as 6 year olds, and with a promise that we could win medals. And our dad had been keen runner and took us, running for fun on evenings and weekends, and running races, whether that's school cross country or local trail races at the weekends. And I was so rubbish at the first ever cross country races. For those of you who don't know, cross country running is mostly a very British sport where you just run around mostly very muddy fields for fun. And I was very rubbish at it, and came near the back of the field, but for some reason I loved it and wanted to get better. So yeah, I think that's what it was like. We had a very supportive family, never really pressured to do anything, but parents who really wanted to support us and help us and enable us to experience as many different sports as we possibly could. And at the same time, we're keen to keep two very active, maybe even hyperactive young children active and tired by exercising. And that's how we progressed. At some point, as when I was 8, I had an uncle who was doing triathlon at the time, Ironmans even, and decided to give a triathlon a go, as trying many other different sports, and loved triathlon as an 8 year old. And then as I progressed through my teenage years, just did more and more sport, especially initially with a massive amount of support from my parents, taking me to swimming lessons in an evening, running club one night, taking me out cycling at weekends with Johnny as well. Absolutely incredible.
And so, Johnny, did you just follow in your older brother's footsteps, or were you just I know you guys may not know, but my brother and I are about the same distance in age, about 2 years apart. So, my parents would just want to kick us out of the house because we were too busy, fighting. So what was that like for you as the younger brother?
Yeah, so Alistair obviously covered that perfectly, our early career, but Alistair's 2 years older than me, so obviously did a lot of things first. He got the Great Britain Best for the first time, so a big moment for me was when Alistair was 14 years old. He got his Great Britain Best, came home, put it on the kitchen table, and I thought, wow, I can achieve that as well. And Alistair went to the Olympics in Beijing in 2008, and I was actually in the stand watching him do that. And I'm quite an underconfident person, and didn't believe that we could ever reach those heights. And seeing Alistair lead the Olympic Games triathlon until the last 5K on the run, I was there going, wow, I can do that as well. I've got a brother who achieved that by cycling to school, by running at lunchtime, by eating the occasional fish and chips and things like that. It made me believe I can do that as well. These athletes that I thought were untouchable, unreachable, are now people that I can actually compete with. So I think for me, having Alistair breaking down those barriers first was absolutely massive, because he basically created a training squad, a training structure that I could just copy. And I knew if I could keep up with Alistair, then I could win world medals and Olympic medals.
That's awesome. Now, Alistair, when you were in high school, so Johnny's mentioning that you had set up a structure, right? So, when you had started to really love the sports. How did you transfer that sort of that desire into consistency, into being able to, because, to be great at something, you must be consistent. You have to lay it down. Where did you develop that? At what point in your teenage years, maybe, did you get that discipline?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think to be great at anything, whether it's sport, music, or anything else in life, it takes a lot of practice, which takes consistency over a long period of time. And I think I had that understanding from a relatively young age, and realized that the human body, at its simplest form, is the more of something you can do, the more stimulus you give it, the more training you give it, the more it responds, and the stronger and faster you get. Obviously, up to a limit, but to be able to put as much exercise through your body as possible to get the biggest response as possible, you need to be consistent over a long period of time of just amalgamating, training upon training and getting that kind of dividend of response over time. And so I had the idea of putting in a regular weekly kind of schedule that's how I train week in, week out. And I think by the time I was probably 14 or 15, that was cycling to school in the morning. I think I set off at something like 7:30 and cycle somewhere between 10 and 15 miles on the way to school, running at my school during the lunch hour, running for about an hour, then swimming after school for a couple of hours. The local swimming club was training at the pool there, so I literally just had to finish class and go and dive in the pool and swim there for 2 hours, and then sometimes even cycle home, sometimes not. But yeah, it was a relatively kind of very laid out structure, doing slightly different days. I'd have slightly harder days where I'd do some intensity, but most of it was based around doing relatively low level endurance aerobic training before Zone 2 became fashionable. And it's just building up. The base of it really is that very simple idea of the more you do with something, the more adaptation you get from your body. And I think to your point of that kind of determination and resilience over time, I think I worked out that if I had a pattern and I made as much training as I could habitual, I was never waking up in the morning and going, oh, I'm going to give myself a chance not to cycle to school this morning or go swimming. It became I made sure it's part of my life. It's I'm getting up, the alarm's going off at whatever 7:00 on a Monday morning. What I do today is put my kid on and get on my bike and cycle towards school. And I think that's a really important lesson, I think, to take forward into, I think, almost anything I do. You don't want to be using that willpower to get out of bed or get off the sofa every day to go and do your training or work or whatever that needs to be. You need to try and make it habitual. You need to try and remove the barriers to doing it as much as possible. And on the rare occasions that you really do need that drive, that willpower, then of course you have to use it, but you save those for special occasions.
So Johnny, when you saw your brother getting up and biking to school, were you right on the bike and following him right away, or did you just say, you know what, I'm gonna keep up with what he's doing? That can be a very interesting relationship for teenage boys.
Yeah, well, Alice obviously started to ride in school first. I used to take the school bus, and interestingly enough, the school bus actually took longer than cycling to school. So pretty quickly, I thought, well, what's the point of cycling? What's the point of taking the school bus? I might as well ride to school. And then I'd follow Alistair. I think Alistair initially didn't like having his younger brother following him along, trying to drop me. We used to have races on the way to school and make it fun. But I obviously swam from a very young age. I ran, and I was best at my school for all those younger years. And then I went to a cross-country race when I was about 13 years old and nearly got beaten by someone from my school. And that was a big moment for me because I thought, right, I can't have this anymore. I'm either going to commit fully and train or not do it at all. And on the way home, we went to a sports shop, bought some new cycling clothes. And then from that day, I cycled to school pretty much every single day for the rest of my school career. So and having Alistair there obviously made it easier for me because I could just follow him. But it took something else to make me realise if I wanted to be good at sport, I couldn't just rely on what I was doing. I had to make changes and I had to commit.
Now, who pushed you when your brother is out there riding in front of you trying to drop you? And I know what that's like. And you're like, you must have been thinking, I am going to catch him. At some point, I'm sure you caught him. What was that like?
Yeah, well,
did
obviously,
you talk a little trash?
Yeah. No, I'm not much of a trash talker. Obviously, being very British, understated. I probably knew that just by keeping up with him, that'll be enough. But yeah, part of our strength as having both of us there is it's quite rare to have a training partner that you're that similar to. Quite often because of the competition you have with other people, you don't want to train with people who you're competing against because you don't want to show them your secrets. You don't trust them sometimes. Maybe that person is going on the way home, is putting an extra few miles in just to get one over you. So one thing that we've always had is a very open book in that we're open about what training we do. We don't try and get one over each other. We realise in those key sessions we can really help each other out, and our strength is actually having both of us there and pushing each other on. I'm always racing Alistair. I'm still racing him now. We went to the pool this morning, and although Alistair's doing slightly different training because he's doing the longer distance now, we're still racing each other in the pool, and that's brilliant because Alistair was talking about before, you are motivated 95% of the time, but there's times when you really need someone to push you on, and having Alistair just to follow, to push you on to race, gets everything out of yourself.
That's awesome. One thing that I think is great about you guys, and there are so many different things, is that you guys are incredibly coachable. You allow people to push you. How do you do that as the most decorated triathletes in history? How do you maintain that mindset that you give other people permission to push you when you need to be pushed? How do you go about that?
Well, for me, I think it's about choosing those people is the most important. Like, I have a kind of philosophy that I only want to work with people who genuinely want me to do well and genuinely have my best interests at heart. So my coaching team, my physio team, my support network, it's got to be those people who will do anything to make you succeed. They want you to do well. They're not just turning up. It's not just their job. They sacrifice as much as you to get to that point. And also, you can always learn. And a lot of the time for coaches and support network for me have actually been about holding me back and about telling me at the right time that I'm fit and to keep calm. Don't do too much, don't push it too much. If you want to be a good endurance athlete, your default has always got to be to want to do more training all the time and want to push yourself more and more. And occasionally you need those people to say, right, that's enough. Take it easy today. You've got a race coming up, or change this slightly. I only want to surround myself with those good people.
Al?
I agree with Johnny on that. It's I think, like, to your point, I agree with Johnny everything he said. You want to surround yourself with good people. You've got to remember sport is in some ways unique, but not all unique in terms of it's not only your job, it's your passion, it's your hobby, it's your life. It's so much kind of more than just a job. And so you kind of need people, I think, on the journey with you who are aligned with that, with your values and goals. And like Johnny said, that could be they're there because they want to be there, has been aligned, but it could also mean that they're obviously prepared to work and do something with you at 10 o'clock on a Sunday night if needs be, or travel with you to the other ends of the world, or it can't just be a job. I think for some of those people as well. So finding really engaged and motivated people is really important, and you gain a lot from that. And I think coachability in a term is interesting. At times, as an athlete, you absolutely have to listen to advice and work out whose advice to listen to and when. But other times you also have to, discount that advice and make your own decisions. And you have to be good at making your own decisions, because you can't have someone telling you what to do all the time. And ultimately it's your body. So it's a constant challenge, like working out, I think, how to manage that.
When you guys, putting your bodies through this strenuous training, the races, you're going to come with some real lows, because your body is your body and you will get injured. How do you guys get out of a rut? When things just aren't clicking, what is it that you guys do to pick yourselves up?
You're absolutely right that I think one of the biggest challenges in sport is injury. And, it's no cliche that sport is a roller coaster ride of highs and lows. And I get asked this question a lot in terms of resilience and how do you have that resilience? And my response is always something like, well, resilience isn't just an action that you have a tough something that goes wrong and you respond to it. It's more of a way of thinking, a perspective that you're always having to respond to. Whether it's a little thing one day or a big thing the next day, you're constantly having to respond, reassess, reset your goals, and move on. So there's that. I think in terms of a bigger rut, for me, it's always reminding myself why I do it. And although exercise and training is effectively my job to race, it's also my passion and what I enjoy doing as well. So if I'm having a tough time of it, I make time to either put on my running shoes or go out on my mountain bike and just actually head out for fun, and actually making the time for me to do that, doing it without the purpose of training, going somewhere remote to do it, taking the time to do it. So I've got nothing to get back for, no other stresses apart from kind of being in nature, exercising, and reminding myself why I enjoy doing it. That's what always works for me.
Yeah. Well, Johnny, one thing people may not know on this call is that you managed to finish like something over 40 races, world-class races in a row. You hit the podium. That's nuts, man. I mean, that's just nuts. How did you keep yourself in that level of consistency over such an extended period of time?
Yeah, I was just about to mention that, actually, when you talked about your last question, because one of my proudest moments of proudest achievements of my career was between, it was like April 2010 and May 2014. I was on the podium in every single race I did. It ended up being something like 42, 43 races. And I kind of wish, firstly, I wish I appreciated it more. One thing that I regret in those times is I took it for granted. Those podiums I didn't really celebrate. Maybe this is why I continued it as well, but I didn't really take in those highs. It was just on to next race the whole time. All right, there's another medal. You put it in the suitcase, come back home, unpack your bike, get training again, go to another race. Oh, there's another medal. So that probably helped me continue that pattern. But at the same time, I kind of wish now that I had appreciated it a bit more. Because one thing I don't think I've done very well in my career is celebrate those moments and those achievements. And now as I've got older and I realise it's got harder to achieve those highs and those podiums, I look back and go, I should have enjoyed that more. But I think one thing that I have done as an athlete is being very consistent and consistent in training. I remember going into London 2012, and from when I started training in November 2011 until the start of the Olympic triathlon in August 2012, I don't think I missed a minute of training in that whole time. And that is down to consistency of making sure you do all the little things right. You eat well, you sleep well, you rest in between training, you don't do too much, and you keep that load consistent. As I've realised now over years, the most important thing in training is not to have any spikes in load. Don't one week go out and run 150k, the next week come back run 50k. You almost basically keep it more flat line. And like I also said, just make it fun, make it enjoyable.
Awesome. Now that you guys you've got worldwide accolades, everybody is admiring your passion, your value system. You've achieved so much in your lives. Why is it now that you've chosen to partner with Max?
Well, to us, we've been building Brownlee Fitness for a few years now, and that's all really about trying to take our training methodology and democratize it to help as the biggest number of people as possible on their fitness journey, whether that is just getting fit to be able to do a bit of training with their mate, or whether it's trying to complete an Ironman triathlon. We have that entire range of people on our squads at Brownlee Fitness that makes us both very proud and is great. And Pete and Andy are doing an amazing job every day supporting all those athletes on their journey, which is amazing. And then when we came across Max and I started to look into it as a supplement and read about ribosine and the positive effects, I was kind of amazed of some of the scientific literature available on the benefits. And ultimately it's there trying to do the same job as we're doing, delivering advice and a product to help as many people live the healthiest lives they possibly can. And then I met you, Joe, obviously, and you told me the amazing backstory, and really coming from a place of ultimately trying to help people and take a supplement to the world to help people live as healthily as possible. And I thought, wow, this is what an amazing thing to be involved in.
Awesome. Johnny, have you had a chance to sample and use the products, and how have you found them?
Yeah, well, absolutely brilliant. I tried them back in the study in January time, and for that kind of 6-8 week period. And for me personally, as getting to now a 34-year-old athlete who I'm trying to qualify for the Olympics this year, it's getting harder for me. The recovery is definitely harder. I get more achy in between sessions. I'm not that young athlete anymore who springs out of bed. So I wanted to try the products to see if it could help that and help me on my goal, because like I say, I need every bit of help I can get. And when I was trying the products back a couple of months ago, absolutely brilliant. Yeah, I did feel really good. I had the most consistent bit of training I've done in years, and I felt brilliant. I hit all my sessions. So that's why I wanted to try them, to see if I can get that edge.
Awesome. Well, I can tell you that you'll definitely get that edge. We're all looking forward to the races that you guys have coming up. Can you tell the Max audience here where can we follow you? Where can they get to know more about you guys? What are the races that you have coming up soon? Because I know they're all going to want to follow you guys.
Yeah, it'd be amazing to be followed by as many of you here on this call as possible, and the Max family, which is lovely to be a part of. You can follow us in lots of places, obviously on social media through our individual Instagrams. If you search Johnny Brownlee and Ali Brownlee, Ali Brownlee Tri, you'll definitely find us both. Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, and through our Brownlee Fitness channels, which are fantastic as well. Brownlee Fitness on Instagram is very active and full of some great advice.
So what races do you have coming up?
So as far as races coming up, I'm hoping to qualify for Paris. So I'm actually going to Japan on Sunday to race in Yokohama the following Saturday, and that's a big qualification race for me. And and then hopefully qualify for Paris, and hopefully be there racing the mixed team relay and the individual in July, August time.
Awesome. We can't wait to follow you guys. Maybe Andy or Pete can put into the chat all of your Instagram and places that people can follow you, if that would be possible. Now, one last thing before we go to some of your teammates, particularly Pete. What do you guys hope to accomplish with this with the partnership as we look to the future, as we come together? What is it that you see as your vision?
Well, I think our grand overall vision is providing the best possible health and fitness advice to as many people as possible. And like I said, that's everyone from someone who wants to be a bit more active and a bit healthier every day to someone right up to the other end of the spectrum doing Ironmans and ultra marathons. And ultimately, both Max International with ribosine and Brownlee Fitness are both in that place of trying to provide the best possible advice and products to help people live as healthily as possible. So we're hoping at Brownlee Fitness, by partnering with Matt's, we can take our training and exercise, healthy living advice to your customers and the people in Max's sphere of healthy living. And we're hoping at Brownlee Fitness with Max to be able to take Max to a new sphere of potential customers who are also trying as hard as they can to live their healthiest possible lives. So between us, we're hoping for an amazing partnership that is brilliant for everyone involved.
Well, I have no doubt that is what's going to happen. I can tell all you guys on the phone, there are a few things, when I first got to meet Alistair, most just unbelievably humble guy. He's surrounded by people at this race in Miami that are just coming up to him, and he's shaking everybody's hand, talking to everybody. I think he grabbed a beer. I'm not going to say which one, but it was just relaxing. And then we went out to dinner, and I've never seen a 160-pound man eat so much in my life. It was truly unbelievable, but it was really great meeting you, and great meeting you here, Johnny. I look forward to working with you guys. And thank you so much for lending your advice to all of the team here, your vision for the future. I know that we look forward to working with you guys and your incredible team. Your team is amazing. The people behind the scenes. Andy has helped me amazingly with my training, get me up off that couch and start to try to catch up to Mr. Pete Pastides. So why you guys have a little story about Pete before we bring him on, maybe?
We have a story about Pete. The only story about Pete is, without a doubt, he's the most enthusiastic man about everything I've ever met, and you're about to all experience that yourself now.
Yeah, my story of Pete is, I think he might be the only person I've ever met who finished a triathlon and then got on a plane in his tri-suit still. So fully clothed.
Had to rush back to work.
Yeah, he rushed back to work. He wasn't doing it out of choice.
Amazing. Well, we love working with Pete. Great guy. And Johnny and Alistair, thank you guys so much for sharing your wisdom with the team. And I'm sure they'll be looking forward to hearing from you guys, and they'll be cheering you on like those folks in Ecuador moving forward. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having us. Cheers, guys.
Take care.
All right, guys. Alistair and Johnny Brownlee, two of the greatest athletes the world has ever seen. And now we get to talk to one of the greatest athletes in the 50 to 60-year-old category, Mr. Pete Pastides. Pete, welcome to the call. Wanted to run through this with you. So why don't you tell us a bit, Pete, about your background and some of the things that you've accomplished, which are truly incredible.
Yeah. Max, morning, everyone, and thanks, Joe, for welcoming and everyone here to the call. We're super excited about this partnership, and I can tell you, I'm living proof of both these worlds coming together, both these brands coming together. Because just a little bit of background. I've gone from never having done a triathlon to being top 10 in the world across various different forms of triathlon in a relatively short period of time, because of the amazing training that Alistair and Johnny have given us in terms of their methodology in Brownlee Fitness. And as a consequence of that and the Max products, I've never been fitter, faster and stronger, period. I'm 56, 57 this year. And yeah, my world is varied. I'm a GB age group triathlete, as is Andy, by the way, who's on the call. Andy's top 10 in the world at duathlon, which is run, bike, run. I do swim, bike, run. So my world is kind of carved into four spaces. I'm a GB triathlete in my age group. I'm a Brownlee Fitness athlete, which I'll tell you a little bit more about what that means to be a Brownlee Fitness athlete and a part of Brownlee Fitness. I'm the CMO of Brownlee Fitness, so absolutely love that role, where I connect with the members, the growing squad around the world and our partners. And at the same time, I'm involved with Alistair and Johnny as well in a tech venture where my background is tech. So I started my career at IBM, worked there for a decade, set my own company up, ran that company for 17 years, sold it, retired, and didn't know what to do. And thank goodness I found triathlon. Inspired by Alistair and Johnny's performances, I joined Brownlee Fitness as an athlete. And within a year, there was so much potential to take it from just a one-to-one training company to a global squad. And with Andy's help and the wider teams, we've achieved just that. So yes, just 30,000 feet, who I am.
Yes, well, that is 30,000 feet. There's so much detail to all of the things that you have done, Pete. It's truly incredible. When you think about what the Max Brownlee Fitness partnership is, why don't we talk a little bit about that? We're bringing two real powerhouses together, between Max's science and the nutrition and training program that you guys offer. Why don't we talk a bit about that so people have a good sense of the fullness of what you're bringing?
Yeah, absolutely. And as this slide suggests, it is the fusion of two hugely powerful forces to deliver this performance-driven nutrition and training. So first and foremost, anyone that joins Brownlee Fitness, and I hope a lot of you feel inspired to do this, or to take up, some form of sport with Brownlee Fitness or endurance sport, but whatever sport you do, it's a combination of fueling yourself, recovering in order to perform. And before I met the Max team and these incredible products, you're looking for not just competitive advantage, you're looking to feel healthy. You're looking to be able to do the training that is demanded of you, whether it's just your first 5K, or whether you're doing Ironman performances or great stuff like Joey, who's also on the call, a gold medalist for his region. You understand the demands of the body. And what Max and Brownlee Fitness together brings is this amazing combination of, for me, believe it or not, boundless energy, that assists with my recovery, that aids my performance. And that's really what I want people to understand. I'm living experience of the power of these two products and partnerships coming together. I'm trained by Brownlee Fitness. I take the Max products, and it means that I can consistently, as Johnny and Al said, consistently do my training, recover well, get ready for the next day. But more importantly, when the moment's right, I can perform. And so the ability for us to work together as teams, you out there in the world, promoting the brand, using the products, inspiring people and helping people change their lives. Your products, and I've been doing sport all my life, your products have made the single biggest difference to my sporting life. And as I said to Joe, my biggest fear is that my competition are going to get it. And this means my ability to try and be number one in the world is going to get super hard. But I can't restrict, I can't restrict the benefit that this gives to people of all ages, of all abilities. So once again, in summary, Joe, that's what the Max partnership and the Brownlee Fitness partnership means to me.
Well, it certainly has meant something to me already, as I got to experience, and everybody should know, you guys all know that, I tended to work out a bit and run a bit, but, you also need that coaching and that training. And I'd come across a little bit of a problem, so I had turned to Pete and his team to get me going. So when you see this Brownlee Performance, BF Performance, and it's ready anytime, well, I can tell you right away that Andy was unbelievably responsive in terms of giving the advice and getting it out into the email in a personalized message. So that ready anytime was really great, and being coached, to get started, right? Often the most difficult thing is to get up and say, okay, I'm gonna do this and get started. Getting those consistent messages saying, hey, this is what you got going today. Here's the things, the specific advice. That was really inspirational. How did you guys develop those habits to serve your customers so well?
Yeah, I mean, that's really the foundation of Brownlee Fitness. It's at the center is Alan John's training methodology. So there's over 350 different workouts that they have personally built, developed, tested, and applied to great effect. And that's all wrapped up in something called Plans Plus. And it's called Plans Plus, it's because it means whether you just want to run, whether you just want to swim, cycle, or do all three, it doesn't make any difference. At Brownlee Fitness, we just want you to move and be healthy and be fit. And so it's really about being fit. It's about being healthy. It's about being healthy all year round. And the way that we keep you healthy all year round is to the point that Al made and John made, It's just being consistent, and it's doing most of your work at what we call zone 2, a kind of an endurance pace, which means it's sustainable. You're not thrashing yourself every single day. You're literally doing work that your body can sustain. And expert coaching makes sure that you're connected to your training plan. So if you've got questions or queries, we've got this great tech called Ask Al, which you get for free when you join. And 24/7 in any language you want, you can ask Al, our AI, anything. And anytime you want to reach a coach, you just go at coach, and then you're connected to a human. So it's this combination of giving people the total flexibility that they want to train when they want, how they want, and a plan built around them, that you've got a coach at hand to talk to at any moment in time, that you've got technology to lean into if you've got questions. But more importantly, you're ready at any time to race and to perform. So that might be your first 5K, your 10K, half marathon, or a marathon, or your first triathlon like Joe's doing. What we want to make sure is that you're fit, healthy, and ready at any time to be able to take on those challenges. And even if it's just a park run or a local event, or whether you're going for international honors, right from that spectrum, from someone that's never really done any fitness all the way to Olympians, we cater for everyone in between. And that's really the promise and the business and the framework that we've built to serve people.
It is truly terrific, because it's not just about, because not all of us are going to get up to Alistair and Johnny's level. We're not going to get to your level. Some of us just need to get up and get started. And so you guys have plans that, for the very beginner to the, they range all the way to the Olympic level athlete, which is remarkable.
We've got literally people that just walk, that just simply do it. They need a target, they need a goal. And so we've got some incredible athletes from all over the world, all 5 continents. And it's the beautiful thing about it is when you think of scaling operationally delivering this to reach those people, we've got the most amazing technology and the most amazing coaching team wrapped around this ability to support people wherever they are in the world with whatever their goals and objectives are. So right now it's coming up to race season in triathlon. So everyone's on their race plans that wants to race. There's some people that are just doing it for training. And when you sign up and you take advantage of the offer that we've got as our partnership, you'll see Joe's been through it, that it's Andy's worked tirelessly as our operations officer to make sure that experience is simple, fast. You get your plan and you're able to follow your plan, based on the time commitments and the lifestyle that you have.
And one of the things, guys, that you need to think about here is, and we talk about this a lot in training, and training for work and your business, right, is putting forth a plan. Right. And laying in a plan that is very, very well balanced, and being healthy has a lot of different aspects to it. Right. You've got mental health, you've got physical health, you've got business health. All of that has to do with structure and consistency. And you're going to hear these things throughout in this partnership as we talk about in your business life, that you have to be very, very disciplined. You have to be training. You have to be learning. You have to be working. One of the things we say, Pete, in our business is we say, first you learn, then you work, then you earn, then you celebrate. And so it's a very similar structure to what you guys have put together. So it's really, truly a perfect partnership. Now, let's talk a little bit about your personal experience. So this is something, I know Alistair and Johnny probably have a ton more stories about Pete, but I've got one story about Pete so far. And that was when we first started discussing the products, because being an endurance athlete myself, I know the mentality a bit. And I said to Pete, Pete, when you get the products, don't overdo it. You're going to feel like Superman. And I need you to remember, you're still a human being. So, Pete, when you started taking these products and we were having that conversation, what were your thoughts at that point? You think I was crazy?
Yeah, I didn't really realize the impact that they were going to have. And it was great advice. You said, Pete, your products arrive next week. When you start taking them, don't overtrain. Yeah. And then the reason why that was such a brilliant advice is because you do feel like you have almost unlimited energy. And normally pre-taking the Max products, come Friday night with the work demands and the training, I'd be asleep by 7:30 in front of the fire. Here in the UK, it's been cold. And my partner can't believe it because I'm running around like a 19-year-old at like 11 o'clock now on a Friday night, ready to sort of, start another day. And it really has had a very, very profound impact on my energy levels, to the point where, I'm able to sustain my threshold pace, which is the kind of maximum heart rate that you can sustain over a long period of time. Very, very significantly. And I've proven that in my last 2 races because I've won my last 2 races. So I have more energy to hold that race pace, which is called your threshold pace, and that's principally because my glutathione levels have been increased. That's it. So they've gone from, and this is what Joe knew, that he could see that I was a 56-year-old guy with depleting glutathione levels. When I started taking the Max products, these were seriously elevated, and that's backed and proven by the proven study. So the beautiful thing is Bobby and the team and everyone have come together and have validated what I'm feeling. So it's not just a subjective perspective here. Yeah, this is scientifically proven that my glutathione levels are higher, and as a consequence, my heart rate variability measurements are also off the chart. So that means that I have a lower heart rate when I train and rest, and that means I have faster recovery. So I'm working just as hard, but my heart is working less, and I have more. I'm able to recover much faster. And Johnny also experienced that. So go on, Johnny.
That's one of the things that is so great about our partnership, is that it's all based upon legitimacy, which is very, very important. It's not a bunch of marketing. I know Pete's a CMO, and he creates brilliant marketing, but there's so many absolute legitimate facts behind the things that both of us were doing and now will be doing together. And this science, as we all have seen now with the human clinical that was backed by 55 peer-reviewed published studies over 15 years, over 20 years of research and science, that we put the products to the test, that we have unbelievable confidence in what the products actually do. That's deliver bioavailable cysteine for glutathione production. And, when I was giving Pete the advice, because I know his age group, I know where he's sitting. We know that at that age, the glutathione levels are declining. But when you're working out as hard as Pete, as in any athlete, you're producing an unbelievable amount of free radicals. And with a lower level of glutathione, those free radicals, they cause havoc in your system. And so when we gave those products to Pete, we knew that his glutathione levels would shoot out to the moon. And the study, verified that. We saw that in the age group 51 to 60, that we increased glutathione levels. And this is important in healthy adults in a 28-day period with a regular dose, 250 milligrams of ribosine a day, increased glutathione levels 64.7%. And that was exactly reflected in Pete's experience, right? And so we know that we have a product that is backed by legitimate science. We also know that when we look at Brownlee Fitness, the fitness programs are being designed by people who know fitness better than anybody in the world. They put their bodies through unbelievable strain. They've studied how to put together programs. So this is an unbelievable combination, which really helps us all achieve our global mission, which is to improve global health. So, so we have come together here, and we have a global invitation for you guys. So we're combining performance nutrition, which is what Max brings, with a structured training plan. So Pete, why don't you run us through exactly what everybody is getting? They need to really understand how this is going to help blow this up.
Absolutely. So really, really simple. In a minute, a link is going to be shared that you can go to and you can learn more. But in essence, what you get is a training plan that's absolutely personalized to you. So whether you want to do a triathlon, duathlon, aquathon, aquabike, or simply just run or just get fit, the moment you sign up, from the moment you start with us, your plan is personalized to you. It's the most simplest thing in the world. Once you sign up and you tell us what you want to do in terms of your program, you're onboarded. And then each of your workouts are digitally delivered to a device. So whatever device you're working with, You can send it to the bike computer or to the wrist, or you can just access it from your mobile phone, or you can access it from the web. But the most important thing is that your plan is built for you, your age group, your ability, your experience, your targets, your goals, is delivered to a device that enables you to follow it simply. It's totally flexible. So you could be on a training plan between now and a race date. And once you've done that race, you can either decide just to stay on a maintenance plan and just keep fit and healthy, or go for another race or another goal or another target, or you can flip to a completely different sport. So you might be on triathlon now, but now you want to do a marathon, or you might be doing a half marathon and now you want to be doing a duathlon. So you can move the plan, and that's why it's called Plans Plus. Whatever you want to do with your training will support you. And then, as Joe mentioned earlier, that's all supported with amazing technology called Ask Al. You'll see that on brownleefitness.com. Click on it, ask it a question. Al's knowledge and Johnny's knowledge has been synthesized into an AI, and they're there 24/7 in whatever language you want to ask that AI, it will give you the answer. If you don't get the answer, or if you want to talk to a coach because you've got a question you don't understand about your training plan or about anything physiologically, hit @coach, connect with the coach, and they'll get back to you through email or directly through the AI. So it's a totally flexible, very simple, very effective training plan that, as we said earlier, is all about keeping you fit, healthy, and ready all year round.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that, Pete. And I know that we've got a plan and an offer for the Max team, which is super exciting for me. I'm so happy to thank you guys for putting this together for the team.
Our pleasure. Yeah, I mean, you get 50% off for the first 3 months, and it's right now only just under $19 a month. It's like 31 the full price, so it's affordable. And that's really, Joe, to bring home what Alistair and Johnny were saying about democratizing their very effective training methodology. What they meant by that was there are 4 things that people want from their plans. They want a plan built for them. They want to be able to talk to a coach whenever they want to do a coach. They want it to be flexible. Life gets in the way. If you can't train today or you can't swim today, you can shuffle the plan. Yeah. So you want, and the 4th thing is you don't want to pay a huge amount of money for it. This is what we've learned from the market. And so that's what we're offering. It's unbelievable, cost-effective, flexible, personal, and adapts around your lifestyle and your training needs. That's it in the nutshell.
Awesome. So everybody make sure that you got that URL, and I could ask Joey and the team here at Max to make sure that you guys put that URL in the chat so that everybody can grab it and go to it right away. I can tell you that the commitment level that these guys have brought is amazing. You're going to get to see, I'll tell you this about Pete. Pete is a walking advertisement. The guy is just unbelievable enthusiasm, and they're going to be giving us some unbelievable testimonials. They're going to be talking about their experiences, and we'll be able to use those tools as we build this business into a real global enterprise and really affect global health. I mean, that is what all of us are about every day. We're bringing you guys an unbeatable value proposition. This is why this combination truly works, and it'll absolutely help build business everywhere and help bring great health to everyone. First is that we are a science-backed product that actually works. The gentlemen at Brownlee Fitness and ladies at Brownlee Fitness, they have tested these products over a period of months. As we have said, we will always put our products to the test, just like those guys get out there and race all the time, put it in there, put it out hard. They're willing to put themselves out there at risk. We are challenging every single nutritional supplement company in the world to come and test yourselves against Max's products with respect to raising glutathione levels. All of you guys know I have put that challenge out there for about a decade. I have yet to receive an acceptance to that challenge, which makes us the world's best. There isn't any doubt. And we go and put our products to the test on our own, as we have just shown through the human clinical, and we deliver the results that we promise. So what a terrific combination. Number 2, we've got now the training plans that actually work on every 100+ different training programs to meet your objectives. And importantly, remember, who's the most important person in your business? The client, the client, the client, the client. You can help them find that program that works for them. You can help them find the nutritional supplements that are going to help change their physical life. Number 3, let's go on. So now we're combining these things together, which is amazing. You know, 1 and 1 often makes 2, but in this case, 1 and 1 is going to make about 100, because this is an absolutely perfect combination. And in terms of, you know, yes, the products work because they have the best training platforms. They have unbelievable AI. And yes, we have unbelievable products backed by unbelievable science. But what really makes this partnership work, and this is very important for you guys to remember, is the value system that we share. You know, that we all have the same values. It's not like, oh, we're great and you guys need to give us this and that. No, it's a true partnership. We're going to work together to make it great. We understand what it means to fight and struggle through difficult times. We understand the effort that it takes to make something work and succeed. And I can tell you, over the last 3.5 months that we have had the absolute pleasure of working with the team at Brownlee Fitness, I can tell you that they are an unbelievable teammate, just an unbelievable teammate. They are willing to put in the work. They are willing to work with us. They are willing to fight through things that need to be fought through. They're willing to discuss things and build a true partnership. This is something that is going to last decades because of that value system, because of that commitment to excellence and that commitment to delivering something valuable, something of value to the consumers on a worldwide basis. It comes back to Dr. Nagasawa's vision of changing the world for the better, producing a product that improves human health. It comes back to Johnny and Alistair saying, hey, we need to bring this stuff and our knowledge and share it with the world, and share it in a way that everybody can participate. That's what it is all about, the global mission of global health for everybody. Everybody deserves to have a healthy life. And that is what the Brownlee Fitness Max International partnership is going to do. So Pete, what do you think? What do you think about this? How has your experience been with the team?
Incredible. You know, we have everyone. I share the same feeling as you, Joe. I mean, and thank you for the kind words. We have a super dedicated team. Everyone's super passionate. It's hard not to be inspired when you're working with Alan John day in, day out. And we're very privileged to be able to, you know, tap into their knowledge. But it's also, we're very careful about the partnerships that we form because of their brand and their integrity. And when you look to the Max, not just the Max products, but the Max people, everyone that I've dealt with, Bobby, Jason, Sam, the whole team goes on, Jürgen, incredible. Yourself, Joe, Larry. I mean, Larry is legendary in the video production world. If anyone doesn't know, he creates the most amazing, you know, content. I hope I haven't missed anybody else. You know, even from the people that because right now we're getting set up in the UK. So Mike, who delivers us our products, which is why Johnny's run out right now because he's waiting for his next shipment. But that's okay. We got the VAT certificate. Soon we'll be able to deliver this into the UK. But I echo your sentiments. There is a huge, massive desire between both brands to make a huge difference in people's lives. And I'm just so thankful that I get to experience it firsthand every day, and I get my 250 milligrams plus. And you know, Joe, my fear of running out. Yeah, I have this massive fear of running out of. And so Andy, I've had to ration some to Andy. We're both racing this weekend at the Europeans in Germany. He's got just enough. I've got plenty. It's the first time I've ever been selfish about anything, and I'm not letting this stuff go. Andy will attest. He's got just enough to get him through the race, and then he's got to go ask Mike for more. But my stash is mine. So yeah, it's great. It's a real honor, and it's a privilege to be working with you all. Truly.
Yeah, so well, thank you guys. You guys have been amazing. And tell us about the championship races that you've got coming up. We would love to hear it.
This weekend, Andy, are off. Both on our Friday. We've got the European Duathlon Championships. We're in different age groups. Andy's in the 45 to 50. I'm in the 55 to 60. But it's a 10-60-10 European final. We're both representing Great Britain. So it's 10K run into a 60K bike into a 10K run. And trust me, in our bottles is our ribosine. Everything's in there. Max ATP, fully loaded with cell longevity, morning and after. And so, yeah, we'll be the first, I think we'll be the first European athletes powered by Max this weekend in Germany.
Hey, well, you know, make sure you put the links in, because I know the team is going to be pulling for you. You got, you know, Pete, you'll absolutely, and Andy are going to have absolutely a worldwide Max audience that is going to be looking forward and pulling for you guys at every instance. And we know you're going to do great. And you know, please put so we can all follow you. Drop it into the chat. We're all looking forward to your races and this long-term partnership that we're going to be taking global health to the world.
Fantastic.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us for this Learn to Earn. We want to, of course, thank Pete and Johnny and Alistair for spending some time with us. And we thank you guys for coming to listen. And we thank you guys for all of the hard work that you do. And the work that you're going to do to help us all take this mission to the world so that people can experience great health through supplementation and great health through terrific, excellent training programs. So thank you guys very much. And Joey, I will pass it back to you.
Thank you so much, Joe. Thank you, Pete. Thank you, Brownlee brothers. And thank you, everyone. Let's all help everyone we know with their fitness and health journey through the partnership between Max International and Brownlee Fitness. So thank you very much for your participation in today's live event, and we look forward to seeing you all in our next webinar on May 14. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.